Hello and namaste. I'm Govind Thapa, live from Sydney Netcom's office once again. And today I'll be talking about some questions that I have received for the PT academic related to the PT academic test. I'll be discussing about 3 questions. This could be quick confusions. This could be a type of confusion for other PTE students as well. So let me start with the first question. So the first question that I have received about the PT test is it essential to speak in native English accent so that the grading software can understand me? Okay, so basically I'll be talking about this answer, but first let me give a little bit of brief introduction about what the session is for today. Today's session is for. Today's session is for question answer discussion. So I'll be just discussing about whatever questions I have received. So if whoever is watching this live session, if you have any question, you can put in the comments below, and I'll be discussing on that question on our future sessions. So let me start with the first question. So it was, is it essential to speak in a native English accent so that the grading software can understand me? So it's not necessary to speak in a native English accent because the PT software is designed in such a way that it can understand the proper English. So you have to be audible. You have to be, just give me a second. I have been receiving some messages. I'll discard those. Okay. So you have to be audible. You have to be understandable and clear enough and speak in a good tone. So that should be enough. You don't have to speak in any accents. All right. So basic good English is enough to get good score. So nothing like you have to develop any kind of accents. Okay. So next question is number 2. What will happen when or if I don't maintain the word limit when penning an essay? Okay. So interesting question. So as I have always been discussing that the essays have got word limits. So each writing task, let's say, has got a word limit. For summarized written text, there's a word limit of 75. Likewise, for the writing essay, there's a word limit of 200 up to 300. So your minimum word length for the essay has to be 200, while the maximum word length has to be 300. All right. So if you go above 300, let's say the question was easy for you, which you had already practiced, a similar type of question, and you started writing and your word limit reached to, let's say, 305. So in that case, you'll stand to lose your marks. Okay. So you have to be very much correct with your word limits. You cannot exceed that. You can exceed, but in that case, you lose your marks. Okay. So, and also while writing your essay, you shouldn't be going below 200. So if you write, let's say, 195 words, also you'll be losing your marks. So stick with the guidelines and follow the word limit rules. So be in between 200 to 300 words. And for write essay as well, you have to be under 75 words. Okay. So let's move on with next question. So the third question is, in describe image, should I attempt to speak about all the observable details that I see in the image? Okay. Well, this has been asked by many of my students before in the classes as well. So in this case, so you don't have to describe all of the details that you can see in the image, in the describe image section, because there are lots of details, numbers, data, which you'll not be able to speak in the limited time. You'll be provided with 40 seconds of speaking time. So in that time, you have to speak the most striking details. All right, the details which has got highest, let's say you've got datas, line graph. Okay, so in that case, what you can speak about is the highest number of values, the lowest number of values, the trend of the graph, if it's a graph, the trend of the graph. Okay, so you have to talk about those values, the striking datas. You cannot speak about the whole x-axis and y-axis and the data provided in those axes. So you cannot do that because it's not possible to describe all of the data in 40 seconds. So you have to be precise, limit your speaking word length, and try to speak only the important or key points. Okay, and also what you have to do while speaking, I always say you have to be coherent, you have to be fluent, your oral fluency. You cannot take long pauses in between. So you have to keep on speaking. So for that, what you need to do is practice a lot of described images in which you can define a trend of speaking. So you will have a certain trend of speaking. So that way, you will be able to frame your answer in 40 seconds. And frame your answer in such a way that you will have all the important details, not everything from the image. Okay, so next question is, what are the countries that accept PTE? Okay, so well, there are lots of countries that accept PTE, but you have to be careful while choosing the institute, the country, the states. Okay, I'll come into detail with that. Firstly, let me tell you about which countries accept the PTEs. So the first one is Australia. Australia accepts PTE for all the academic purposes, mostly, and for migration as well, for migration purpose. And other countries are New Zealand, Canada, UK, United Kingdom, and USA. And also there are other European countries as well. The PTE has provided a list of countries that accept PTE, okay, PTE academic test. You can also check that in the PTE website. If you go to, you'll find a tab there in the PTE website called Who Accepts PTE. So if you go there, click there, you'll find the list of countries. You'll be able to choose a list of countries from where you can find your country of choice. Let's say you are thinking to apply for USA. So you can choose the name of the country from the list, and it has also a sub tab. Let's say sub tab. So in that sub tab, you can choose the state, and also below that there is another subcategory where you can choose the provider. Let's say university. So you can choose the country, state, and university. So if your choice of university is in the list, that will accept the PTE then. Okay, so that has to be in the list. For other countries, but you don't have to be very specific with Australia, because with Australia, most of the providers accept PTE. All the institutions, the assessment bodies, they accept the PTE. But some cases we have seen that even in Australia, like the La Trobe University, let's say, La Trobe University does not accept PTE for nursing students. So in that case, there are some situations. So also the body that does the assessment for social work, that doesn't accept PTE for the assessment. You have to take IELTS test for your assessment. So there are few exemptions in Australia as well. So, but mostly it is accepted in Australia, and other countries also you have to filter it out. So that would be the answer for what countries that accept, what are the countries that accept PTE. Now, next question is, if I take long pauses in the speaking test, will it affect my score? Okay, yes, it will. If you take long pauses, it will affect your score, because PTE has strictly provided a guideline which is very strict, which says that your pause shouldn't be more than 3 seconds. So if you pause, so while you're speaking, if you create a pause more than 3 seconds, your microphone will be turned off. It will not record your answer. Okay, so you have to be alert, careful while speaking. You can take pauses, slight pauses, fillers. You can use fillers in those pauses, but do not keep silent. Okay, so if you keep silent, your mic will be turned off. Let's say, suppose I'm reading a sentence. There's a list provided by PTE where you can choose from countries, state, and find the list of providers. This is the sentence. Let's say I took a pause. There's a list of providers provided by. So if you take this kind of pause, so it shouldn't be more than 3 seconds. Okay, when you read, you have to be fluent. If you go more than 3 seconds, again, the mic will be turned off and your answer will not be recorded, and you'll lose marks on that. Okay, the next question, moving forward. The next question is, can I reschedule or cancel my test? Yes, you can. Okay, so there's a time frame of 14 days, 2 weeks minimum. So before that, you can reschedule your test free of cost. Okay, but if the time frame is less than 2 weeks, there will be a certain charge that you can see on the PTE website while you try to reschedule your test. So there will be a cost if the time is less than 2 weeks. And there could be a chance that if the time is less than 7 days, you may have to pay a full amount to book a new test. So depending on the time frame, the charges also vary. Okay, now moving forward, the next question I have received is, in case if I forget to include an introduction and conclusion in the essay, what happens? Okay, well, PTE has provided, again, talking about the guidelines, PTE has provided a strict guideline of the format, of the essay. So your essay has to have introduction, body, and conclusion. That is a proper essay. So if you are not able to meet that, you will certainly lose your marks. Okay, so you have to follow the rules and follow the limit of word length and write down a proper essay. Okay, so you have to have a proper introduction, a body, and a conclusion. So that will make a proper essay, and you'll be able to get good marks with that. Now, moving forward with the essay, with the next question. Will I know how much time I have left? Okay, so for time, yes, there will be a timer clock on the top right corner of your screen, or sometimes you can see on the bottom right. So the time is provided on the screen. You can look on the screen and you can determine how much time is left for you to perform the test. Okay, so you don't have to worry about that. You will be getting alert on the time looking at the screen. So next question, moving on to next question. Do I have to speak loudly in the PTE speaking section? Well, this has speaking test sometimes has been funny, because I have got a feedback. I have got to listen from students that while they are sitting on the PTE test, some other candidates who are doing the test shout to a very loud voice while doing the PTE speaking section. So it is not necessary to shout while you're doing the test. Well, it is not going to improve your score, but it will obviously disturb other candidates who are sitting next to you. So you must be audible, at least. You must be producing a certain level of sound, but not very large that will ultimately disturb the other candidates. So just maintain a certain voice level of sound and be fluent while speaking, because the headphone and the mic that is provided has a good quality of catching the sound. So it has, I'm not sure about what level of the intensity or the decibel of sound the mic catches, but I'm sure that they have used a proper quality of microphone which will be able to identify your voice even if you speak in a audible or a soft tone. So, but you have to maintain your fluency and coherence. And you'll anyways get good score even if you speak in a softer voice. Okay, now next one is, will I get break in the middle of the PTE test? Okay, it's not exactly the middle of the test, but yes, you will be getting a break of 10 minutes, which is after the reading module. All right, so first you will be doing the speaking test, then writing. After that comes the reading test, and then you can have a 10 minutes of break. However, you cannot invest your 10 minutes of break doing lengthier tasks. I mean, you'll not be able to go out and have a quick juice, drink, lunch, or anything like that. It's just to help you refresh by either going to the toilet or drinking water. Take a quick break of 1 to 2 minutes, but not more than that. Okay, because you have to, while you go out on the break, you have to sign out in the identification machine there, and while you return from the break, again you have to sign in. So there is a process of signing out and signing in embedded within the break time. So you have to be very quick enough with the break. So you have to be very precise with the things that you will be doing in the break time. Okay, don't waste your time on anything else beside the requirement. So if you want to go to the toilet, go to the toilet, drink water, come back and sit for the test. And that time, that break time will not be counted towards your entire time of test. That is a different time allotted for you to use for refreshment. And what was the other thing I wanted to tell is in the IELTS or any other test, I'm sure about IELTS, but not other tests, there the break time is also counted towards the exam time. Here it's different. And if you don't want to take the break, you can just skip after the reading section, you can just skip the break and move to the listening section. All right. So next question, moving to the next question, it is, how many days should I prepare for PTE test? Well, it depends on the people, but in a standard way, it is said that you have to prepare at least 6 weeks for PTE test. So you have to allot certain hours of study towards the PTE test. So if you study for at least 1 or 2 hours a day, around 5 to 6 days a week, so you have to study 6 weeks to get good score in PTE test. Okay, now, which is the toughest section in PTE? It depends. The toughest section depends because I have seen students who have done very good in speaking are not able to perform well with the listening test. Okay, so fluent speakers may not be good listeners, or good listeners may not be fluent speakers. But mostly there's a situation where students have been finding either speaking test difficult or the listening test to be difficult. But if you practice both very well, I think that PTE is not difficult as compared to other tests. So now, so that was all about what is the toughest section in PTE. So it could be either speaking for some students and listening for others. Now, talking about the next question, how can I prepare for PTE in a week? Okay, so this one, I think it's not a general question. It's not applicable to all the aspirants of PTE test, because the 1 week time may not be sufficient enough for taking a PTE test. Even though for those students who have already a good grammar, good speaking skills, listening skills, and if they do intensive preparation, then they can prepare PTE in a week. But make sure you take the mock test, either 2 or 3 mock tests before you sit for the test, because you'll be able to figure out how much marks you need to anticipate before you take the PTE test. All right. So if you have got good grammar, good speaking, good listening, do intensive. You can do intensive reading and everything preparation, and take mock tests, few mock tests, then move for the step for the PTE academic test. All right. Now, next question is, how and when will I get my results? Okay. Usually you get results in 5 business days. It is as mentioned by PTE, but mostly the results are obtained within 24 hours by the students. But sometimes there are cases when there has been technical errors. So in that case, I have seen some students getting results in more than 5 days. It has taken 10 days for very few candidates, but for most of the time, the test results are ready within 24 hours, and longest is 5 days. Okay, now moving to the last question for today. How long are my PTE academic scores valid? Okay, it is valid for 2 years for study purpose in Australia, and 3 years for migration purpose in Australia. And for other countries who accept PTE, it is valid for 2 years. Okay, that sums up my questions for today. And if you have got any questions related to PTE, please put those in the comments, or you can you can ask us questions in any of the online media platforms or social media. We will be summing up those in our next question answer session. And I'll be ending this session for today. And thank you, my team in Kathmandu NIPCOM's office for helping me host this session. And what else? Okay, prepare and good luck. If anyone of you who's watching is having a test, prepare and good luck. Thank you.